Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Dominance, Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, England Rugby League camp cancelled. Johnson, one of three missing for extended period for the Warriors. Plus my review and coverage of Bradford Bulls versus Leigh Centurions, the final game, Challenge Cup 5th round. So we begin today with the news that New Zealand Warriors will be without star halfback Shaun Johnson for up to a month due to injury. Johnson had scans and further assessments today, Monday, and revealed that the 31-year-old has a minor pectoral sprain suffered during the Warriors' 28 points to 8 on Saturday night. The loss of Johnson, an inspirational and key figure at the club, will be a monumental blow to the Warriors, who are desperate for a victory against the Gold Titans on Saturday. Fellow backliners like Leigh, Watani-Zelezniak and Viliami Valea are two other casualties from their round one for the Dragons. Thankfully for the Warriors, Johnson's injury will be offset by the return from suspension of teenage super Reece Walsh and the depth the club has in the halves. Warriors fans have been placed so much hope and hype on Johnson's return to the club, where he returned as a teenage prodigy before a messy exit to the Sharks at the end of the 2018 season. Former Titan and 2022 signing Ash Taylor can be sounded out as an option to replace Johnson, and Chanel Harris Tavita, who played a fullback in the absence of Walt at the weekend, being another. Either way, the club is in for a major backline reshuffle. Johnson's injury follows the loss of wingers Watani-Zelezniak with a broken thumb, and teenage centre Valea due to a medial collateral ligament injury. Watani-Zelezniak is expected to miss up to 6 weeks, while Valea won't be sighted until around round 5 at the earliest. The pair bravely soldiered on after both suffered their injuries early in the first half. Johnson was making his NRL return after missing a trial that was postponed due to the flooding in Brisbane for the first time since way back in June last year, when his final season at the Sharks came to a premature end due to a serious hamstring injury. Across the final 2 seasons with the Sharks, Johnson managed just 26 games due to injury. Johnson's first match back for the Warriors was more than a solid outing for the player, given his time out of the game and not playing a trial, which is giving the club's fans some hope that he could play a major role in the 2022 season. Warriors are also without their captain Tehu Harris for the first half of the season, an ACL injury during the club 2020. So, injuries mount up, but we weren't expecting that many. I bet the news. Sad, because he's such a good player on his day, and when he's not, just turning on like that step after Kevin Sinfield rushed him in the 2013 semi-final, Wembley. Always gives me nightmares, but stepping machine. You can't keep him down. So when he's back, stronger. So today was supposed to be the first meeting of the 2022 season, where the England squad gets together. But unfortunately, that first training session of the year has been cancelled due to half of the squad being injured. 15 men out of the list that was announced a couple of weeks ago. England head coach Shaun had named his latest 13-man elite training squad and plans to bring the players together for the first of a series of sessions at Headingley today. Media arrangements were put in place, but the media was informed on Monday morning that the session has been cancelled due to the unavailability of significant numbers of players following the weekend's fixtures. Wayne would be without more than half of the 30-man strong squad. Let's give an example of what happened over the last games that were the reason why this event was called off. Well, first of all, towering prop and many both sides of the hemispheres consider the best prop in the world, Alex Walmsley, would miss out due to not finishing the game for Saints against Warrington. Wayne was also going to run the rule over Jack Welsby, but he also has to pull out of the squad again, not finishing the game against Warrington as he limped off close towards the end. Mikola Jeletsky of Leeds pulled out after being told Friday that he was injured as well, and Darryl Clark has been in and out of the Warrington squad with a suspected injury too, so the decision to put him out was the right one in my estimations. Someone who Wayne did want to take a serious look at, as he's been called up to a couple of England squads so far, but have so far not been able to, was Leeds centre Harry Newman, who's had a torrid time of injuries and did his hamstring in at Wakefield over a week ago. But it was only confirmed this Friday that he was out as well. Plus, with Niall Evold and first-time call-up Jake Wardle both being classed as injured before this round of games, Shaun Wayne's squad looked threadbare, so there was no option but to training and media scrum. While it is a setback, Wayne has put in place further training sessions planned for April and May in the build-up to the game against the Canberra All-Stars at Warrington when June comes around, and also to get the group together in July and August ahead of preparations and their friendly game that they have. So there is enough time and they will get together, but at this moment in time, too many injuries. May not have stop eating from going ahead. Anyway, let's get on to the final game of the Betfred Challenge Cup Round 5 as we see the two last teams, Bradford Bulls and Leigh Centurions, face each other at Odsal on Monday the 14th of May in the 7:45 kickoff. So who have John Keir and Adrian Lamb named in their squads? Well, I'll show you. Well, the away team first, as Kieran Dixon comes in for Jai Hitchcock's for this cup game. While there's no change in the halves, in the forwards, it seems like Dixon is the only change in the starting 13 as it is. And on the bench, Edwin Ipape comes in for McDonald for this cup game. And for the home side, who won a nail-biter against Batley Bulldogs last time out, to have named Matty Dawson-Jones instead of Tyndall in the right wing position. Ben Evans comes into the front row instead of Crossley, and Baldwinson comes in at loose forward instead of O'Connor in the three changes to the starting lineup. On the bench, Sammy Kabula comes in for Fleming in this Challenge Cup game. The two teams come in different form to the game, as Leigh Centurions are in second place with 4 wins from their 5 games, while Bradford have only won 2 from their 4. So it could be anyone's game, as cup games normally are, but leaning the positive for Leigh Centurions. So we don't get any points scored until the 13th minute, when Deck Patton kicks a penalty from just inside the Leigh's half after an injury to Elliot Keir. Can't tell what it was really, but the referee gave a penalty due to this. After that, Bradford got the tails up and went in for the first try of the game. So deep in Leigh's half, the ball goes through the hands and finds Deck Patton, who throws a great cut-out pass to Gill. Miller's goes on the wing, who passes it inside to the unmarked Gill, who runs in the first try of the game. Patton added the extras, and now it's 8-0 to Bradford. But it was Leigh that scored the next points of the game, as Sidlow went over underneath the sticks from a crash ball, which had no other resistance, that's the word I was looking for him to be stopped, and Adam Sidlow put Leigh back in the game. Ben Reynolds added the 2 as it was directly under the sticks, and it was 8 points to 6. And as we were closing towards half time, Reynolds had a penalty due to an infringement by Deck Patton, and Reynolds goes 2, which he does convert properly, and it's 8 points all as we go into. Looking at this evenly, I don't think either coach would be happy with that scoreline of 8 all going into the sheds. Bradford had some momentum and let Leigh back into it. Adrian Lamb might be happy with the response, but he wouldn't have liked how his team started off. Game. So we're into the 56th minute after the second half begins, and Bradford are starting to get momentum after 16 minutes of the wrestle. And because Bradford are getting a bit of momentum, it's a mad few minutes for Leigh, as Bradford decide to run it on the last tackle, and they are running it down the right hand side. The ball is now in the arms of Matty Dawson-Jones, who chips it over Caleb Aiken, and the fullback is beat and has no choice but to grab the winger to deny him a try scoring opportunity. My first thought was a penalty try. It wasn't given, it wasn't thought of that way, but instead it was a penalty for Bradford deep in Leigh's territory, and a yellow for Aiken. He has to go sit down for 10 minutes. A few tackles later, and Dawson-Jones is over in the corner off an overhead pass from the dummy half, which finds him, and he's able to dive over right into the corner. Tough kick for Deck Patton, but he adds the extras from the right hand side, and it is now 14 points to 8. Leigh then, from their own kick-off, the ball goes out on the full. Bradford are back into the Leigh half off the penalty, and are given another penalty. Leigh forward had pulled back Jordan Lilly in the back play to stop him getting involved in the next tackle set, and to just slow down the attack. It's only 20 metres out, so Deck Patton kicks to add the 2. And it's 16 points to 8 to Bradford. Leigh though get them back together and find themselves in the Bradford 10 metre area. They also earn a penalty and force an error, which Leigh gets a scrum from. And on the next tackle, the ball finds Nene McDonald, who just steps and powers over the line for possibly his easiest score of the season. Ben Reynolds adds the 2, and the score is now 16 points to 14. He come again, another try. Leigh are on the second tackle, and the ball finds itself in the hands of Ben Reynolds, who puts in a towering kick out to Keenan Brand, who catches it and passes it to the overlapping Ed Chamberlain, who goes over for his 5th try of the season. Ben Reynolds adds the extras. There's only few minutes left to go. 76th minute, it looks like. Yes, it is. 76th minute. And Leigh have the lead for the first time in the game. And they're winning 20 points to 16. That's how the game. And Leigh go through. And Leigh were put under the pump. And Bradford did so well in the game. I'm not sure they deserve to lead. But scoreline 16 Bradford goals. So you're asking today, who's my man of the match? Well, I'll tell you, it can only be one man from my eyes, as I know that Premier Sports gave it to Nate McDonald, but this man had an absolute blinder. He stayed on the pitch the most of any forward and was effective. He scored the try before half time to get Leigh back into it. Bumpers up and just went through them. Simple. Adam Sidlow. He was immense. Didn't take a break in the first half, and I don't think he took one second either. If he did, it was only a short spell because he was on the pitch, on the floor at the end of the game. He led the forward line around and deserved the win. His effort there to see. Oh, that's mine. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also share this video worldwide. Clicking the notification bell for any new videos and to bring in new subscribers to the world of Rugby League. Tell me what your thoughts are of today's video. Are New Zealand Warriors going to be able to rally around now that they're with Johnson? Games, maybe? Teenage centre is the big thing, throwing the team around, or do you think they've got enough with Reece Walsh coming back in any periods that Shaun Wayne's England preparations, it's a disruption, or is it just a get together at the beginning saying what they're doing and giving an idea of what they think, and for players to set themselves for the rugby? And also the highlights. Tell me what your thoughts are of tonight's game. We've now completed the roundup for the 5th round. We'll go through all those cup matches tomorrow, more in depth, to give you, I think. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Share this video worldwide. I'll just wish you all the best. Please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.